MMORPGs just don't really hit the same anymore. And it's not really the games that have changed, but more so us. So I saw this post where someone said that we're not dumb enough to enjoy MMORPGs anymore. And at first, I just kind of laughed. But the more I thought about it, they're kind of right. The way that we play MMOs now, it's all spreadsheets, guides, class builds, right? Anything that you can think of, we, the players, try to optimize it, right? We try to optimize everything. And somehow, maybe that's made it less fun, right? Like, I want you to think back to the first MMO you've ever played. Like, really, really think back. You didn't know what stats were good. You didn't know what build to run, right? You picked a class probably because it looked cool, right? Or had like a big sword. Like me, I love great swords, right? So I tend to gravitate to classes that have big, large swords. Or maybe, some flashy skills like being a wizard or something like that. And, that way of playing the game kind of just made you think, right? Kind of challenged you in different ways that made the game fun or maybe frustrating. But back in the day, I remember running around in games like WoW, early BDO, and not really knowing what I was doing, to be honest with you, right? Like my class build in WoW was garbage, or with BDO, like I had no idea what like the most optimal combos were or cancels were for warrior. I had no idea what the best silver making methods were for BDO back in the day. But regardless of all of that, I was still having fun, right? Back then, every mob zone or quest, it just kind of felt like an adventure, right? And it was challenging, and you felt accomplished when you completed something, right? Or figured something out, even though it might have been miserable, but it was a rememberable, miserable experience. Jeez, try to say that 10 times in a row. Now you log into a new MMO and we're already looking up the best in slot gear, fastest leveling routes, which class isn't trash in PvP, or which class is best in PvE. And not really because we want to, but because we almost have to, right? So we don't fall behind, right? The community almost expects you to know everything before you even start playing. Like I remember when I was playing Throne and Liberty, if you didn't already like research the dungeon mechanics before the dungeon, people would be pissed at you, bro. Like pissed. You essentially griefed them. So you can't even really play the game how it was designed and try to figure out the mechanics through, trial and error, right? We've basically turned MMOs into solved math problems, right? There's a right way to play, and if you're not doing it, you're just wasting your time or someone else's time. And sure, I mean, that efficiency mindset works, right? You level up faster, you clear content, you win fights, but what's the point if you're not actually having fun, right? It's like we're speedrunning a game that's meant to be immersive and lived in and not necessarily beaten, right? So yeah, we used to experience MMOs, but now we solve them. And, I think part of the blame is on the devs too, right? I mean, MMOs today are built with meta chasers, right? Look at BDO, a new class drops and it's usually the meta class for a few months. And, just in general, MMOs typically front load the grind, right? They force gear checks. They tie, power to systems that punish you for experimentation, right? If you stray away from like the optimal path, you just get absolutely wrecked or destroyed with your overall progression on your character, right? That freedom that we used to have to just kind of mess around and just kind of find our way, it's barely there anymore, right? But kind of going back to the beginning of the video, it's us that has changed, right? We're so connected now with Twitch, YouTube, Reddit, Discord, right? We just can't help but to min-max everything. It's just kind of second nature. right? Before you even start a class, before you even start a new class, bro, you're already watching a 30-minute tier video kind of telling you which class you essentially choose, right? So you're not wasting your time. Like, bro, can I just like play the game first, you know? But hey, I'm guilty of it, right? Obviously, I'm a content creator that makes guides, but I will say I do miss the trial and error, right? I miss the sense of discovery, kind of that moment when you do find an off meta combo and you're thinking to yourself like, yo, did I just like figure something out? And then you just kind of come to find out that that weird off meta combo was absolutely trash. But hey, you thought it was kind of cool, right? And, you know, I think at this point, we really can't fix this experience, right? Unless I guess the developers kind of implement some type of like AI into the game that makes it kind of a unique experience based on the actions you choose or the dialogue you pick, which could be possible down the road, right? If we can't stop ourselves from breaking the game, maybe the game just needs to kind of stay one step ahead of us and just kind of keep us guessing. I don't know. Maybe the next time you boot up a new MMO, try not to Google anything. Just try stuff. Pick a class that looks cool, even if it may suck. Take the long way around. Die a few times. Ignore the tier list. Go off meta. Make dumb decisions, right? That's how we make memories in these games, because the truth is MMOs aren't fun when you treat them like a checklist or a chore, right? They're fun when you let them surprise you or play with your friends and just kind of figure stuff out on your own. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying throw away your guide, especially, you know, if optimizing is your thing, right? Definitely go for it. But if you feel kind of burnt out or just bored, maybe it's time to get lost again, right? Try being dumb on purpose, right? Go in blind. Let yourself fail. You might actually find the game isn't boring, right? You're just kind of playing it too smart, right? We're all playing it too smart. And, you know, I think at the end of the day, players, we just kind of demand more balance, more in-game, more competitive systems, but maybe in kind of chasing all of that, we've kind of lost what made MMOs magical in the first place, right? Which is the journey, the exploration, the figuring out stuff, right? That randomness, just kind of feeling of, you know, being in a world where you kind of get to decide on how you get to play. But really, really cool topic. Really cool topic. Let me know down in the comments, have MMOs gotten too easy for you to enjoy, or are there still games out there that make you kind of feel like a noob again, in a good way, right? And if you got stories from like old MMO days where everything was new and confusing and kind of amazing at the same time, I would love to hear it down in the comments. But hey, as always, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great upcoming week, but peace out, YouTube.
Sunsets on black desert sky. It's just you and I.